everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much everybody for coming back to my channel. Thank you so much everybody who's listening right now to the podcast. It is April 29, 2026. Today is Wednesday, and I'm going to talk to you guys about the viral video that shows students trying to save their bus driver. And I think it happened a couple days ago, and they spring into action to help the bus driver as she was having a medical emergency. And I'm also going to talk to you guys about the Taconic Highway crash, runway direction crash that happened, I believe was 2009, and this is in regards to Diane Schuler. So let me give you a trigger warning. What I'm gonna speak to you guys about here is very sensitive to a lot of people. Before I continue, thank you guys so much for following JulissaDesigns podcast on Spotify. Don't forget to do so every time. Every time I make a new episode, you will get a notification. And of course, everybody who's also watching this video right now on YouTube, thank you guys so much for liking and subscribing. And if you want to know more about me and the stuff that I do, as you can see behind me here, I have my mannequin and my sewing machine. I have everything that you want to learn about Julissa Designs. You can just visit my main website, JulissaDesigns.com, or you can also follow me on Instagram with the same name, Julissa Designs. So, the Diane Schuler tragedy that happened, I believe it was 2009. I'm going to give you the details exactly. It stays in my mind. I think about it on and off. It's very tragic, everything that happened to the family and the people that were also in the same highway that also got killed. But this morning, or maybe yesterday, I saw the video. I don't think I'll be able to put it here, but maybe I will. So it's the video where you see students going on a school bus and noticing that the bus driver is having a medical issue. The lady is basically just passing out on the wheel as she is driving the school bus, right? And thankfully, these students are so smart and immediately noticed that something was wrong, right? And they immediately sprang into action. And when you see that all the students basically coming together. One is holding onto the wheel, trying to figure out, how to drive straight. Then you see another one trying to get some type of medical help. I don't know if she was looking for medication or something, but to see them immediately react to emergency situation like that, like the bus driver is having a medical episode, and these students immediately, it's not like they're on their phone doing their thing, watching, talking to their friends on the bus, listening to music, not even paying attention to the bus driver. They immediately noticed something and they immediately acted on it, right? And thanks be to God for that. So the video is about a heart-stopping video from inside a school bus show nearly a dozen Mississippi middle school students jumping into action after their bus driver lost consciousness Wednesday behind the wheel. The video from Hancock County School District captured the driver, Leah Taylor, passing out during an asthma attack. As the bus continued rolling forward, the students in the front of the bus noticed immediately Taylor slouched over and grabbed the wheel before she briefly regained consciousness. You can see that in the video. It's almost like she's passing out and then she kind of comes back and then realizes that she's actually driving and try to continue. And I don't know if she's communicating something to one of the students, but you see one of them looking for some type of medication. The other student ran up to the front of the bus, but as she collapsed a second time, falling backwards, one of the boys quickly slammed on the brakes and the others called for help, right? You can see them also getting on their phones. Hancock Middle School principal Melissa told the news that she was not surprised to hear out that the kids remained calm and acted swiftly. The emergency situation, she said, has definitely been detrimental, and they handled it exactly how they should have, right? And I think that's amazing. They say Taylor, the bus driver, said that she's feeling better and she's thankful that the students saved her life, right? So the lady was having a asthma attack. And it's just to see that like that, it was just very wow. Like I said, in the age that we're living in, the time that we're living in of destruction, everybody, I mean, people fall down, but they're walking on the sideway, and they don't realize that there's some type of construction going on the sidewalk, and they're looking at the phone so much that they fall right into that. So imagine that, right? How distracted we can get. And these kids in the school bus, right? They were not on their phone. They immediately pay attention, immediately did something, right? And the willingness to do something was just so amazing, so profound. And so as I'm watching that video, of what I just told you, I'm looking at, what came to my mind. It came to my mind the tragedy of the Taconic Parkway, and this is about Diane Schuler and her family. And I'm gonna give you a brief summary of what happened here. It happened years ago, but it's still there's still so many unanswered questions. So looking at the video, what happened inside the school bus, like I said, and seeing how these children, even though they're a little older than Diane's nieces and her daughter, the way they reacted immediately reminded me of the Taconic trash. And Diane Schuler, they also did a documentary about her and what happened, and I believe it came out on HBO. It's called There's Something Wrong with Aunt Diane. So if you haven't heard about this story, which I think a lot of people have already, I made videos years before about it. You can go ahead and look at that documentary too. So let me tell you exactly what happened. On July 26, 2009, Diane Schuler drove the wrong way on the Taconic State Parkway and killed 8 people, including her daughter. And the tests show that she was drunk and stoned. But her family, to this day, I believe, they still continue to believe that she was not drunk and that she was not really smoking at all, because they never saw her do it in front of them, right? So, the thing is, Diane Schuler, this is why I find very interesting. I mean, there's so many unanswered questions about this case. They were just returning back home from a weekend at a campsite that they it's about an hour and a half from their home, right? So this is Diane Schuler with her 3 nieces. I think the oldest one was her name was Emma, and 3 nieces. Her daughter, I believe, was just 2 years old. Her her boy also, Brian, who survived, the only survivor of the crash, and she's packing up the minivan. They go to the camp for the weekend. They do this often. Diane Schuler, one of those people who just likes, there's always that person in the family who wants to take all the kids with them and take them places so they can have fun. I believe she was that person for that family. And so was a very routine thing that they did every weekend. So she packs up the minivan with her, the 3 nieces, her daughter, her 2 kids, the daughter and the boy Brian, and her husband also was on that trip, right, Daniel, and he was driving separate cars because they had a dog, right? So I have so many questions about that. They're taking a whole minivan, right? They're taking a whole minivan, but they still decided to use separate cars. My previous video about this case, people were saying that's a very normal thing to do for families. I just don't understand so many things about that. Like, it's not like they're going, they're going to a campsite, right? Even like going there, it's a whole adventure, right? Do you ever remember traveling with your family when you were younger? Even if the car was packed up, right, with cousins and your siblings, it was still so much fun, right? But anyways, that was the arrangement, and it seems to me like that was the regular thing for them to do. So they leave the campsite early in the morning. Like I said, the campsite was about an hour and a half from their house. They leave the campsite early in the morning. Diane takes all the kids with them. Then the husband drives on his own. Everybody heading back home, basically, right? And a trip that will take not that long to return. to their house. Took a long time. But here's the interesting part about this. And I know I'm skipping a lot of details because, I have made videos about this case already. I know a lot of people know, but I'm trying to find you the connection with the video of the school bus that I came to my mind today. So before they start heading officially back home, they stop at a McDonald's. Diane stopped at a McDonald's to um, do breakfast with the girls, right? And with the children, right? Because Brian was also there. And I don't understand why her husband didn't stop and meet them at McDonald's to do the whole breakfast, right? So here you are, you have a mom who just spent the whole weekend with all these children, right? And she's also going to be the only one there handling McDonald's, right? All the children having separate meals, right? And everybody depending on Diane, right? Not only she's doing all of that, she's also the driver, right? And I question all of that. And maybe people are okay living like that with their family, that's fine. And it's just a question, observation that you make, and you're like, wow, she's really a trooper, like she's doing all of that, right? And Diane Schuler was, I believe she was a supervisor for a communications company, and she was making like $100,000 a year. This is 2009, so that's, back then, was great. So she had a really good job. They would go for the weekend and do this often. But after the McDonald's, there's another video of Diane stopping at a gas station, and there's a video of it. She stops in and she briefly walks in and she asked the clerk for something. You see her walking through the gas station. She asked the clerk for something, and I guess he replied, and then she basically just left the gas station so quickly, not running, but like not running as you see her walking, but the way she pulls out of the gas station is very scary, right? The way she pulls out of the gas station is like she's like fed up with something. It was like there was something bothering her. And it's 2009, people. We already have our phones and all of our cell phones. I don't know why in that moment it's like your husband left the same time with you. Why there was not, if they were saying she wasn't probably feeling well or something, why not call your husband, who's basically just spent the whole weekend with you, and be like, hey, can you come? I'm at this gas station like 10 minutes from the place. I'm not feeling well. Can you take the kids and let me take something and maybe leave the car there, we'll drive together, something of that sort. But she pulls out of the gas station, and you can see in the video, like, it went from like, she pulls in, like she's pumping gas, and she wasn't looking for gas at all. She was looking for something else. Because normally when you go to a gas station, you're not really doing gas, like you're not pumping gas. You park in a different way because you don't want to be in the way of somebody who's going there to get gas, right? That's like the usual thing that people do. She parks in a pump, and then she walks through the front. And then when she leaves, it's like she's so upset that she almost basically ran into oncoming traffic, basically. And then after that, then they start getting calls to the emergency services saying there is a person going on the wrong direction on the Taconic Highway, very with both hands on the wheel, driving very she's still getting people. She's driving super fast, and it's like I question all of that because I'm like, it makes you wonder, wow, what happened here, right? And meaning, like, was there some type of argument that happened that weekend with the husband? You cannot help but to think that because you have a husband that is basically not, he's not saying, I know you're taking all the kids later, meet up at McDonald's, I hope you do breakfast, and then, we'll go our ways there. Like, she's in charge of everything, basically, right? And I'm sure they did the whole everything too at the campsite. She was probably in charge of dealing with all of that too, bedtime and all of that. This is basically just my speculation, but it's just very strange. And then she goes into the Taconic Parkway, like I said, in the wrong direction. And I believe she drove all the way to 2 miles, right? But before that happened, there was something interesting about that. Before that happened, Emma, the 8-year-old, one of her nieces, Emma, 8-year-old, who lost her life on that crash, she calls her mom on the cell phone, and she says to her mom, "There's something wrong with Aunt Diane, right?" So here's my theory when it comes to these kids in the school bus saving the school teacher. And like I said, I understand there's an age difference and all of that, but we know that when the children are younger, right? They know they learn to say, "Oh, my tummy hurt. I'm not feeling good. Oh, I'm sick," and things like that. For Emma to say there's something wrong with Aunt Diane, it's like she didn't say Aunt Diane is sick, or Aunt Diane is not feeling well, mom, or Aunt Diane seems like she cannot see or anything like that. She said there's something wrong with her. But you're talking about an 8-year-old girl who knows the difference between being sick or what's wrong with you? Why are you acting so differently, right? That's what I'm trying to say. And for me, it's like for her to say there's something wrong with Aunt Diane, it's like. And then when she says that to her mom, let me just tell you, when Emma says that to her mom on the phone, they're driving, and she says to her mom, something wrong with Diane, and then the mom says, "Okay, put her on the phone, I want to talk to her." And Diane gets on the phone and she says to her sister-in-law, she says, "Oh, they're just playing. They're okay. Everything, kind of like brushing it off, like everything's fine. They're just playing." That's very strange. And I think this is where people have a lot of questions about this case, because you're telling me that the 8-year-old, basically the oldest person in that car besides Aunt Diane, says, she's acting weird. Let me call my mom, right? And when she calls her, she says something wrong with Aunt Diane. Then the mom is like, "Okay, put her on the phone." And then Aunt Diane is going to basically dismiss everything that the 8-year-old is saying. And she also can hear the youngest child crying in the background. And I feel like people might not receive this, what I'm going to say well, but it's like, it's either that she got upset, Diane got upset about something, so much, something probably that happened, that she was probably making, I don't know, gestures or faces or saying things to the children. And the reason that I say that is because of that line that the child said, "Something is wrong with her." It's not like she said, she looks like she's sick. Like I said, children learn to say, I'm sick, my stomach hurt, I'm sick, I cannot go to school," but at a very young age. I mean, they say I'm feeling sick. That's like something that they learn very automatically, right? They even see you, if they see you like, even like sneezing or something, immediately, like younger kids, they immediately think, "Oh, you're sick? Are you not feeling good? Your tummy hurt?" They will say that to you. And Emma, 8-year-old Emma, didn't say Aunt Diane is sick. She said there's something wrong with her. It's almost like she's acting like she's not herself, right? And when you say that to people, in my opinion, it's because, like I just said, they're either not acting themselves or they're making some type of gestures or weird sounds, or just like saying things that normally they wouldn't say back to the kids, right? Or not acting themselves, right? Wow, what's wrong with you? Like, she's not, there's something wrong with you. You're not like this every time, right? So I think like there was a lot on Diane's mind. I believe that they had some type of argument, right? They had some type of argument with the husband. The campsite lady who managed the whole campsite said when she saw them leave, they looked perfectly normal. I believe people in McDonald's also said that she looked very normal. There's a video of a still photograph of her at the McDonald's, and they also found that vodka bottle in the car, right? And people were saying maybe because Diane was a alcoholic, like in secret, I guess you can say. She didn't want her family to know. And when Emma called her mom, it made it seem like it was all in the open. Let me tell you, if Diane was trying to hide that she was drinking, that vodka bottle would have never ended up in that van. Because she stopped at a gas station. She could have gotten rid of it then, right? She stopped at a McDonald's. She could have throw out the bottle of vodka at a McDonald's. She left it in the car because she thought she was gonna get home. Or something else. I don't even know, or something else, like it didn't matter anymore. It's almost like, I don't know what I said in my previous video about this, but just about watching the video from the school bus, it came to my mind, kids immediately can tell, and I know they're younger, right? I mean, they're older, but they immediately can tell when somebody's not. I mean, you have children calling for help at a very young age when the mom is not feeling well, right? And Emma said there's something wrong with her. It's like she's not even acting herself, right? And people, right, from what we have seen, when people are drunk, right, they're not going to drive straight. They're not going to drive straight. People were saying that she was tailgating and beeping at them. People in the house, there were so many calls from the Taconic Parkway. She drove 2 miles. In those 2 miles, people started calling for help and saying, you have somebody driving very, what is it called? Erratically, very, super fast, right? Also, they were saying, she's tailgating, and then you can see it too when she goes to the gas station. You can see it too. And then the other thing that I, before I finish here, that I thought was interesting is that when they stop at the Terrytown, right? Because Emma said, when she get back on the phone with her dad, they're saying, can you read some of the signs? They say, it says Terrytown. They were right at the entrance of the Tapasee Bridge and the Terrytown exit. And Diane left her phone there. Diane left her phone. I don't understand how people can say, those are very intentional things, right? For her to leave her phone and all of that, it's almost like, I really wish that the husband can say, I know it's been so long and he probably been asked this many times. He can say exactly what conversation they had the day before, the night before, the morning of. How can this man didn't even meet up with them at McDonald's? I mean, was he rushing to get back home to work or something? I mean, I believe it was a Sunday, right? And they were just at a campsite, right? Why would you be obligated, why would you pick a shift to work when you're returning from camp, right? And I don't think a lot of people do that unless they really have to. So it was just very strange. And the other strange thing is that when they stop at that Terrytown thing that I was saying, the Terrytown entrance to the Tappan Sea, right? Or they have just passed through it. Because Emma said Terrytown, they asked the kids to read the signs. Her brother said to her, wait for me there. I'm gonna see if I can meet you guys there. But instead she left her phone there and then she drives off, right? So here's the thing about that. You're telling me, right, that there are 2 cars leaving the campsite, husband and a wife, and the wife is taking too long. The one with all the kids in the car is taking too long to return home. And they're calling her. Instead, why would not call the father and be like, hey, Daniel, are you home already? Because we can get hold of Diane. What's going on? She's an hour late. Did you guys see an accident on the way back? Or did she stop somewhere on the way back? Can you go back and see if you can catch up to them or something? Why would Diane's brother be saying to her, I'm going to go and meet you guys there, and I call the husband and be like, I mean, they just left together. I don't understand the dynamic. They left together. And be like, hey, Aunt Daniel, we just had a hold of Diane. She doesn't seem like she's on her right mind right now. Are you home yet? Can you see if you can meet? Did you pass through this Terrytown thing already? can you meet her up there and see if you see the car there or something? Like, why not reach out? I mean, in everything that I've seen about this case, I haven't seen them say, oh yeah, we call him, Diane's husband, and who also left the camp at the same time trying to confirm Daniel, right? Daniel Schuler. So I was just trying to confirm his name. We saw him, we talked to him, he's already home. He said he got home an hour ago and he can't believe that they're not home yet. Like, none of that, right? They actually said they're gonna go to her, but they were traveling basically. They work together, right? And that's her husband. Like, that's the thing that I don't understand. So I just find that the reason that I wanted to make the video was that it's saying there's something wrong with her means that they didn't see, the kids were probably seeing an aunt that they never seen before, a behavior from her that they never seen before. And it wasn't like a sick behavior, meaning like, oh, she's not feeling well, I can tell, right? Because like these kids in the bus immediately reacted to somebody who wasn't feeling well. And like I said, when kids, they're even younger, like maybe 2 years old, they immediately know how to say my tummy hurt, or I have a headache, or things, or my head hurt, they will say, right? They immediately know that. And they can tell too, like if you're not feeling good, they immediately will say those things. So that's a very common thing. For her to say there's something wrong with her, I believe that she might be acting very definitely very not herself, or some type of maybe saying something or being angry about something, and the kids immediately picked up on that too. I mean, that's why Emma called her mom. And the behavior of Diane when she was leaving the gas station, the way she's almost pulling right into traffic says a lot too. And leaving her phone by that Terrytown Etsy, I guess Etsy toll sign, I think it was, says also to when your brother just told you he's gonna come and see if he can meet you guys over there, right? And you're just gonna leave the phone and walk. I mean, did she get pressure to get home quickly? Like, I just spent the whole weekend with your kids and now you're being pressuring me trying to get home. My husband doesn't even meet up with us at McDonald's to have breakfast. I have to basically deal with everything type of thing. And then when the mom gets on the phone, Emma's mom gets on the phone, she said, oh no, the kids they're fine. They're just playing, kind of brushing it off. I think there was a lot going in her mind. I know they're saying she was drunk, and she was. I mean, it came in the toxicology report. Like, I understand that, but people say maybe it's because she was about to be discovered that she's a drinker. Like, she drinks a lot. She's an alcoholic, right? But if she was trying to hide that she was an alcoholic, that vodka bottle would have never made it. Or it would have never been in that car. She had opportunities to get rid of it at the gas station, at the McDonald's, right? Even like, just tossing it out. I mean, I know a lot of people don't do that, but tossing it out, she was driving. Why was she, what happened here, right? And if the family, well, I know they're divided in their opinion. Some of the, I believe the husband and the sister-in-law say, she had a medical emergency. I think the kids would have said, Mom, Aunt Diane is not feeling good. She's not feeling well. And she's not feeling well. And the people calling, as they saw her driving, right? As they saw her driving in that highway, going the wrong direction, straight, tailgating people. I mean, not tailgating maybe when she was driving in the wrong direction, but she was even flashing her lights. Flashing the lights. Before she even started driving the wrong direction, she was tailgating, flashing the lights, and beeping. Like, a medical emergency makes you do that? I don't, look at the bus driver in this case, right? Especially not even driving a straight line either. So let me know, guys, what you think about this. Thank you guys so much for coming to the channel, and thank you everybody who's listening to the podcast. Have a good day. God bless. Hi everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much for coming to the YouTube channel. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next video. Have a good day everybody. God bless.